All right, we have Andrea Lee joining us. She returns to action next Saturday night, September 12th, taking on Roxanne Modafferi. Andrea, how are you? Good to see you.
Doing good. Really good. How are you?
I'm doing great. We were just talking about seasonal changes and allergies and
Yeah.
all that stuff, and it's driving me crazy. But you are you're entering this fight in some unfamiliar territory, Andrea. You get to negate a loss for the first time in your career, so that's good. This is going to be your first fight in this COVID-19 era that we're a part of right now. How excited are you to compete in this new world that we've grown accustomed to seeing over the last 4 months or so?
Man, this new world. I'm not really, I'm ready for this world, this era to end. You know what I mean? I'm ready to get back to normal. But I'm looking forward to it. I heard that, there's a lot of quarantining that we have to undergo before the fight. And, a couple of, we had to take like 3 or 4 like COVID tests also before the fight. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. The only thing is just not being able to have like your friends and your family and, fans there. But I heard it's kind of nice. It's been, I guess, less pressure for some of the fighters, I've heard. So, maybe I'll like it. Who knows?
This is also the first time in your career that you're entering a fight on a losing streak. This has never happened before, but let's be clear, everybody. These were close split decision losses. A lot of people thought you won the Lauren Murphy fight, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, does it feel any different this time around, knowing that you're in this sort of weird spot in your career that you haven't been in before?
I feel like those 2 losses make me more dangerous. You know what I mean? Because when you go on like a win streak and it's what was it, like 5-fight win streak or more, I'm not sure, but you just forget what it feels like to lose, sometimes, after a couple, after you've been winning for so many times, and you kind of start to forget what it's like to lose until you lose, and not lose once but lose twice, and it like really sucks. So now it's like I feel like I'm backed into a corner, and like I need to get this win. So hopefully, I'm planning on going out there and just giving it my all, which will hopefully like win us some bonuses, because I'm wanting to go out there and just be exciting. I love Roxy, and her and I are both friends, and but it's just business. So when I'm going in there, I'm not fighting Roxy. I'm fighting an opponent, and I've got to do what I've got to do. And we both are going in there to like beat each other's face in. I know she's been talking about her Muay Thai that she's been working, and she wants to use her elbows. And, I welcome that. That makes for an exciting fight. So, she wants to use her elbows. I want to use my elbows. We're going to go in there happily beating each other's faces then. So
it's got to be an elbow party next Saturday night.
Maybe. Maybe.
The last time we spoke, it was right after the fight with Lauren at UFC 247, and you felt you should have got the nod. A lot of people also felt the same way. And you told me that you were actually planning on potentially appealing that loss, not because you thought it would get overturned or anything, but more for educational purposes to ensure that judging might improve in our sport. Did anything ever come of that? Did you end up filing an appeal?
Well, we did send out emails and stuff to the commission, but the thing is just, it wasn't going to go anywhere, because the commission, they had the back of the judges. And I feel like there was quite a few other fighters that were trying to appeal the decision as well, and nothing ever came of that either. So it was just kind of like, a dead end road. So it's just kind of like, you take it and just move on. And that's what I did. I mean, these things happen, in fights. It's just, you want the judging to be a lot more fair. You don't want it to seem like it's just really biased, when you go into someone's hometown and fight them, and then it feels like, even though that they lost the fight, they get the win because they're the hometown, favorite. But I still feel like, I took away, I learned a lot from that fight, and there's really just not a whole lot that you can do in situations like that, it seems. I mean, it's very rare that you can get anything overturned, but like you said, I wasn't trying to get it overturned. I was just trying to make a point, and hope that, maybe in the future, judging would be more fair.
Yeah, the Texas Commission took a beating that night between.
Yes,
There's
they
at
did.
least three fights that were very questionable in terms of the
Mm-hmm.
decision. But you know,
Indeed.
this is going to be your first time fighting in this COVID empty arena era. But you know, we've all been experiencing this very strange time in our lives with the world essentially being shut down and then slowly reopening. And you know, you're a mom, so having to play that all important, all encompassing role of parent during this crazy time, that's a little difficult as well. How has this time been for you over these last 6 or 7 months?
Uh, well, it's really weird. Like, I feel like I'm in my own little world. I'm in my own little bubble. You know, all the people that I hang out with, you know, you know, we're all in the gym. You know, we train all the time. And I'm not used, when I'm with them, like, we're not like wearing face masks when we train. You know, I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, we're sweating all over each other, blah, blah, whatever. You know, we're punching each other in the face. We're not wearing masks when we train. So it's like when I go to the gym and I'm at home, like, I'm not wearing a mask. But when I go out into the public to, like, go to the grocery store or whether it's a gas station, you know, it's like that's when it hits me, you know, that, like, we're in this pandemic, you know what I mean? And everybody's wearing face masks. And that's when I'm kind of reminded, like, man, things are just crazy right now. And then whenever I have to fly, like, go to the airport, you know, and forced to have to wear a mask. And when you go to other like cities and states, you know, everybody's rules and laws are much more different, you know. And I feel like here in Louisiana, it's a little more relaxed. But, you know, when you go up north, and things are a lot more strict. So I think I've been handling it well, though. Like I said, when I feel like I'm in my own little bubble and, you know, things are normal and only, you know, I have to, like, venture out into the craziness every once in a while.
Is your daughter back in school yet?
She is, yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, Louisiana, our schools are open. Well, I mean, some of them are doing homeschool. Some of the schools are in session, and you know, they have particular rules, you know, that you have to follow, new guidelines for the time being. But you know, it's working out. It's you know, everything's going smoothly.
Yeah, my kid starts school in 2 weeks and he's in every day. Like half of his school is at home. He's in every single day because he's in first grade. So it's going to be interesting.
I've heard, yeah, I heard some schools are doing that where it's kind of like, you know, you go these couple of days and then you're out of school, which, I mean, as kids, I'm sure that they love that.
He can't wait to go to school. He's never felt this way before, but he's been stuck at home, like watching me work all summer. I just feel so bad for him. It stinks.
Yeah. They want to see their friends, you know. Kids want to play.
Yeah, he wants to run around, and like I can only run. I mean, I'm getting up there in age. I can't run around and keep up with the 7-year-old for that. I mean, I can do it for like a little while, but not as much as he can do it. But
oh, I know.
the good old days of parenthood. How has your training been like? I mean, you mentioned getting on planes. You've been bouncing around a little bit more over these last few camps, getting some different looks. You know, where have you gone? Where have you been training? Who have you been working with to get ready for this one?
Same places, you know. I go to Lafayette, and I've been working with Tim Crater out there at Gladiator Academy. And then for 3 weeks, I spent my time in California with MMA Gold with Jim West. Aspen Ladd, unfortunately, she's you know, underwent a knee surgery, so she's just been recovering. But I got to stay with her in her new home up in the mountains, and it was amazing, you know, because she's just surrounded by nature, and the weather felt great up there. It was beautiful, and it's just really relaxing. And I really enjoyed it, you know, going up there and having everything planned out for me, you know, getting all the one-on-one attention, and everything was just specifically planned out for me. And, you know, I think that's really beneficial. You know, it helps a lot, you know, to have that focus.
Yeah, it's definitely, change of scenery is always a good thing, especially when you're in a place like that. I'm sure people saw the photos on Instagram. So now you're getting ready to fight Roxy again, the wily veteran, an OG of women's MMA. Mm-hmm. You ladies threw down in December of 2014 under the Invicta banner, and she won a close split decision. I know it was almost 6 years ago, and you're both completely different fighters now, but does that night still stick out in your mind? Are there certain things you remember about that first fight?
Yeah, there are. And then I've recently watched the fight, and I'm like, man, it was actually a really good fight, you know, when I go back and I watch it. Because I thought that, because I had suffered like an eardrum, like I ruptured my eardrum like 2 days before the fight. And, there was a lot of issues going into it because of that. But I just remember everything being hazy, and I wasn't really like, I didn't feel like my mind was there when I fought her that night. But when I watched the fight, it actually wasn't really that bad. I mean, there was some incidences where, I'm like kicking myself, and, I'm like getting taken down against the cage, like super easy, like way easier than, I should have been. And then there was a moment where I had her in mount and I was throwing elbows, and then it's like she bridges and I fall over and end up trying to go for an arm bar and end up on my back. And I'm like, just silly mistakes, that I have figured out, how to, like overcome that stuff. I mean, I've gotten better since then on my ground game. And also my cage work is much better too since then. It's come a long ways. But, I feel like she's definitely grown a lot too since that fight. So I think that it's, don't expect to see the same fight as like you saw a few years, or 6 years ago. I guess it wasn't really a few years ago. Doesn't seem like it was that long ago. It's crazy to think about. But yeah, I expect it's going to be different. It's there's going to be similarities. I mean, she's good at what she's great at what she's great at. And people know me for striking, but I don't think it's going to be the exact same fight. Hopefully it's going to be even more exciting. And I think that one was exciting.
That was a good fight back in the day. It's crazy going back and like looking at these things from 6 years ago and being like, holy cow. Like it's just, the sports has just evolved so much. Fighters that I've talked to, they look at the avenging a loss thing in different ways. Like some are just absolutely fired up about it. Like, I can't wait to get this one back. I need to avenge this loss. And others just don't really care that much. It's just another fight. What side of the fence are you on?
It's not about avenging anything for me. It's just going out there and getting a win, getting back on the win column. And, it's just about like you said, the next fight. I'm not a vengeful person anyway, so I'm not really, I'm not sore about it. You know what I mean? I'm not really sore about my loss against Lauren Murphy. I'm not really sore about any of my losses. I hate to lose, and I look forward to rematching, but it's not ever about really just getting that win back and proving myself or redeeming myself. I don't feel like I need to redeem myself. All those fights were good and they were close, and it is what it is. You lost. I lost because of someone else's opinion. I
remember a specific interview we did earlier this year. It was the afternoon of UFC 246. It was just hours before Roxy fought Macy Barber, and you were on the program that I was doing back then, and you predicted that Roxanne would beat her. And then, as the fight was playing out, you shoot me a text and you tell me, Roxy, told you so. And we were kind of joking about her being so nice in that moment, that whole I'm sorry, I respect you, Macy, boom, elbow to the head. But one thing that really stuck out to me is you're like, I would have done things differently. What would you have done differently in that spot?
Well, I mean, I feel like, and this, nothing towards, Roxy or Macy. I mean, it's just, like I said, it's just another opponent when you're in there and you're facing them. But to me, I feel like I would have taken more advantage of the fact that she was injured, which I feel like a lot of other fighters probably would. Roxy took it down to the ground, I feel like, because it kind of leveled the playing field in a way, maybe, because you could tell that Macy was kind of struggling on her feet. And if Roxy had been throwing some leg kicks, I mean, I think the fight would have ended a lot sooner. I really think the ref probably would have stopped the fight just from some leg kicks alone, because she couldn't stand on her 2 feet. She kept kind of falling over because her knee was jacked up. So I'm saying I feel like I would have taken more advantage of that. Just like when a fighter splits you open, if they see blood, and they see you're split open right there, they're going to keep attacking that area because they want the ref to stop the fight. They want to cut you open. They want to make it worse. So you can't see out of that eye, and the ref will stop the fight because the cut gets worse, and you just can't continue on. So that's just what I mean. I feel like Roxy was nice to Macy, and she let her finish the fight.
That was obviously a huge win for her. She was like one of the biggest underdogs that you could possibly imagine. I thought the lines were just so wildly off on that fight. I kind of wish that, I wasn't covering the sport. I would have threw a few shekels on Roxy and, I would have won a couple of bucks. But, her popularity sort of leaped into this whole new level after the fight. And then she runs into Lauren Murphy and she got beat via decision. No controversy there. I thought Lauren won the fight pretty handily. Did you watch that fight? What did you think of it? And did you learn anything from Lauren's performance?
I have watched the fight, and I feel like just she just did a much better job of keeping it standing. I mean, she didn't allow Roxy to take her down. And she even got takedowns of her own. I feel like she played a smart game plan. She kept it standing, and and that's the way. I think that's the best way to go about beating Roxy. You know what I mean? So, that's kind of, I guess, what I took away from that fight. But, I mean, I kind of already knew that anyways.
Right.
Yeah.
Every fight is big. They're all important. There's pressure all the time, and fighters look at it in different ways. But losing 2 straight, do you feel like, you feel like your back's against the wall, but do you feel like this is the definition of a must-win fight? Like, they're all must-win. I know that. But does this feel like I have to win this fight, or things might change for me here?
Most definitely. And I don't feel like I'm going to get cut if I don't win, but it's not going to look good, and my marketing value, everything just continues to go down, the more losses that you have. And so I'm trying to go out there and get this win, like everything depends on it. And really everything does depend on it. I mean, I need this payday, I need this win. I need a performance bonus. So, I'm going out there, to give it my all this time. And, in my last fight, we kept up a pretty good pace. And I'm hoping to keep an even faster pace this time. I want to start strong, and, I don't want to let off the gas. So I've been working on my cardio, my endurance. I hope that it plays a big factor. I'm hoping, to go in there and just, keep on that gas pedal and no slowing down. I don't want to be out there waiting and you go, I go type thing,
Yeah, it's interesting.
Going for the kill.
I was gonna say, because it's no secret you've dealt with a lot over the last couple of years. We're not going to get into specifics, but you've admitted that some of those things have affected performances in different ways. Like even the Calderwood fight, it became more about the title and more than the fight itself. Like every question was, oh, do you feel you're going to fight for the title next? And that's hard to ignore if you're a fighter or a professional athlete. But do you feel like in a way, like when you're in there, that something has been holding you back, that's made you a little gun shy? Because, maybe not as aggressive as you'd like to be. Like you're putting on these high paces, but maybe it's just like the outside looking in, and I'm not a fighter at all, so who the hell am I? But is that a fair question?
It is, and it's like, I don't know. Sometimes I think about that and I'm like, man, I don't know what it is and why it is. I don't know if it's because I'm in the UFC, and like I'm being more careful because I don't want to lose, but at the same time, that's not like the best way to go about it, or maybe I just had more anger, in those other fights, and I was just able to like let it out in there, and now it's like I don't have that anger. So, I don't know. You can't really tell. You never really know. The mind's an incredible thing, I just know I want to get that back. I want to get back to that. I don't want to have a reason to, I feel like I need to have anger inside of me, to be able to let that out in the cage. I just want to be that fighter who flips a switch and is just out there, to get the finish, get the kill, get the win. And I don't really want to hold back anymore. And I feel like that's definitely what I've been doing. And whatever, reason it is, I'm not really sure. But I've been working on that mentally and been trying to like talk myself, into just getting back to that and thinking I'm going to go in there and I'm going to be my old self. Nothing's going to hold me back,
I almost feel like this is the perfect fight for you to do that because, it's not someone that you dislike. I mean, it's not like you dislike everybody you fight, but, the sport's built on animosity in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
But this time, you're friends with Roxy and she wants to go in there and punch you in the face and you want to have fun, like elbowing each other in the face. Like, I feel like this might be
weird.
the perfect fight.
It's weird. It's not weird, but I mean, like, it is weird when you look at it that way. You're both friends and you want to go in there and elbow each other in the face. So, it's funny, but you're right. And then not only that is also fighting her also kind of reminds me of that era, so, I mean, maybe it will help, maybe it'll help in a sense.
There you go. It's a little bit of a throwback fight. So
yeah,
it's crazy that you haven't had a finish in the UFC yet. Like I thought you had one and I went and looked back at it today and I was like, oh my God, she still hasn't had it. Like, and you've tried like hell. It just hasn't happened yet. Like, and if you finish Roxanne, like this would be the first time anybody's finished Roxanne since like before you guys fought the first time. Like she was on the Ultimate Fighter in 2013 and that finish didn't even count on her record. That was the last time she's been finished. Is this the time where both of those streaks come to an end?
I hope so. I mean, man, it's kind of hard to say that, you're going to go out there and finish someone who's never been finished. It's still really hard. But she did get rocked in her fight with Lauren Murphy, and I remember that. I can't remember if it was the first or the second round, but she did kind of wobble her. And I don't know, maybe I'm hoping maybe I can go out there and do that. I mean, Lauren Murphy and I, we traded from start to finish, and neither one of us rocked each other. I don't know. Not like that though. So I'm hoping to go out there and maybe that'll happen. I mean, I want to get the finish no matter what. I'm fighting for a finish and I'm going to fight and, not to, I don't want to accidentally like get like hasty and then put myself in a bad situation, cause that sometimes can happen, but I do want to go out there and I want to fight for a finish and, impress, the people that matter and get a bonus.
There you go. Do you know where this fight, like when this fight's at? Like I know it's happening next weekend, but the cards, because of this COVID era, sometimes they take forever to actually like put them all together. Like we know what the main event is, but as it looks right now, it looks like you and Roxy are the co-main event. Like, is that the case? Do you know if you're the co-main event or has that not been decided yet?
I'm not really sure. I saw that too. I think it was like what, the co-main event, like the co-main before the actual main card or the co and the main. I'm not 100% on that. I think that's pretty awesome, but as far as being definite and certain about that, I don't really know. I feel like everything that always changes. I always see myself like higher up on a card, and then it's like when I get there, it's changed, and I'm not exactly where I thought I would be. But I do know that we're fighting in Vegas. I mean, I know that for sure.
Know that.
At least it's not in Abu Dhabi.
Yes. Yeah, that was a year ago. Wow.
Yeah.
Thinking about it, that's crazy. What a
everybody
year
wants to fight overseas in Abu Dhabi. Yeah, I'm like, not me.
Wait till you've been there and done that. That whole thing was nuts. Just watching the Fight Island thing play out. It's just weird not seeing the crowd. I don't really notice it that much, not having a crowd. I think the one time I really noticed it was when Stipe and DC fought a couple of weeks ago. Then I noticed that there was no crowd. It just felt like something was missing the entire time,
Oh yeah. I kind of like it though, in a sense, because it's like, you don't have the crowd persuading the fighters in any kind of way. You don't hear them screaming or booing or whatever, and it's like, it really, honestly, it's kind of like what you would feel like if you were fighting in Japan. Because when you're in Japan, it doesn't ever feel like there's a crowd there, because they're all so quiet and respectful. None of them boo. None of them, they hardly even clap, if they applaud, it's like, silent applaud, and then afterwards they greet both fighters, and they take pictures with them, and they're great, they're just grateful, that the fighters are there performing for them, and it's just a lot of respect. And I feel like that's kind of like what it feels like, or not for me, but I mean, just from watching it on TV, because it's so quiet and you can hear everything. Because I've been to Japan, I cornered my friend Andy, and I've seen her fight a couple of times over there. And it's just insane how quiet everything is. You know, you can hear a pin drop. It's like you don't want to be too loud when you're cornering, and you don't want to say a cuss word because everyone can hear it. And even though you want to get like excited and you're like anxious and you're wanting to yell to the fighter, it's like it's almost too loud. I don't know, your voice carries, you know, when it's that quiet. I don't know. I think I'll like it. If I go into it thinking about like the way it is over in Japan, maybe it won't be like that, you know, maybe I won't feel like lonely without the crowd. I do like the crowd. I like to walk out and shake everyone's hands, you know, and, you know, feel the energy, but, you know, that's not going to be there.
I don't miss the wooing at all. I'm glad I don't have to hear that every single fight, every 5 seconds.
I know.
Like, woo, woo, woo. I mean, come on now. I mean, we have another beer.
Woo,
relax.
or boo. Yeah, man. I know.
Yeah.
I know. You know, and then I really think that it's probably helped the fighters, you know. I mean, the fights have been really exciting.
Yeah.
They have been a lot more exciting. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, they're exciting sometimes, you know, but it's like every fight has been exciting, I feel like. You know, they really haven't been that boring.
What's interesting, too, is that most of these fights come together like last second. So these guys are, especially earlier on, they were getting off the couch. They weren't in camps. They had like 10 days to get ready. And then they just let out whatever energy they had in those moments. So these fights are ending quickly. Your fight, I mean, this fight with Roxy's been in the works for a while. So it's a little bit of a different scenario. Yeah. And plus there's a smaller octagon in the Apex as well. So it's kind of a throwback to that as well. It
is. And speaking of that, I mean, my boyfriend just fought, you know, his UFC debut on 4 days' notice against Kai Kamaka on the DC card. And he was the first fight of the night, and they ended up winning fight of the night bonus.
He's your boyfriend? He's your boyfriend?
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea.
Tony.
I know.
Yeah.
Tony Kelly, yeah.
Yeah.
Good for him. That fight was awesome. He's booked again, isn't he?
Yeah, he's booked again. And the thing, like you said, coming off the couch, like he came off the couch. It was so funny. It was like playing Call of Duty, and then he gets the fight offer, and then he's like, okay. He's like, I got to cram some cardio. I got to get some people to work with me. And he did some Tabatas, you know, preparing. And, you know, I was really impressed. I was more impressed, honestly. I was so shocked because he was able to go out there and like push through, you know, 3 5-minute rounds. It's so hard, especially when you haven't been in a fight camp and you've only had like maybe a week really to like push yourself and get ready. And, you know, I couldn't do that. But that's why they earned fight of the night.
Hell yeah.
You know, and it's kind of inspiring. I mean, I want to get fight of the night again, you know? You know, he won fight of the night on his debut, and I won fight of the night on my debut.
See, it's kismet. Everything's lining up here. That fight was awesome. Yeah. That was a great fight. I was so happy they got the bonus because very rarely does the first fight of the night get a performance of the night bonus. But they got it. Yeah. I thought it was so well deserved.
It was. And it was back and forth, and it was a gritty fight. It was fun to watch. Had me on the edge of my seat.
Well, yeah. I mean, you were looking at it through a different lens than I was, but still, I was on the edge of my seat too. But now you got to go get your bonus next Saturday night against Roxanne Modafferi, Andrea. I'm very excited for this one. Thanks for coming on and doing this again, and always a pleasure. And we'll do it again.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it too.